But I want to talk to you now about the world's largest retailer and how they're dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Irene on two fronts. Walmart is reopening the almost 300 stores that were closed because of the storm, and it's rushing merchandise to communities that were hit by Irene. Walmart's Mark Cooper is on the phone with us from Bentonville, Arkansas. He's the company's Senior Director for Emergency Management, joining us from their response center now. Mark, welcome to In Business. How many stores are still closed at this point?
At this point, we have 10 closed facilities, but I did want to make the point that we are fully engaged right now, especially in the communities up in upstate New York and New England, where they are still responding to flooding. We're providing support to them and making sure they have everything that they need. The items are in the stores, as well as the local governments have come to us for assistance. And then our thoughts and prayers continue to be with the families of those who lost their lives.
Now, what are the areas of most vulnerability, and what is most needed there?
Well, you know, we have a really good system set up. We call predictive technology, that we're able to identify those items that are most needed both before a disaster and after a disaster. So we've been tracking that since last week. So we've got a very sophisticated system where we track that, and we're able to identify what we're able to send out to the field. But obviously the things that people need: water, tarps, batteries, generators, chainsaws, cleaning supplies, flashlights. Those are the ones that we focus on. But there's other things too for each individual family that they may need, that we make sure that we have in our stores.
And Mark, Walmart is not only the world's biggest retailer, but you guys really track closely what consumers are doing, what they're spending, how they're reacting. You've said 10 of your stores are still closed. What is the biggest challenge to getting inventory to your stores and getting those stores reopened right now?
Well, you know, actually during the actual hurricane, you know, we were having to adhere to the local directives for closing roads, et cetera. So road closures, that's a big concern for us, but that's why it's important. The public-private partnerships that we've established, we're in touch with state and local officials to identify when roads are reopened, and also working with our partners at the Red Cross and Salvation Army to identify any needs that those communities might have, so that we can assist first responders that may need water, shelters that are out there that may need assistance. Those are the things that we're focusing on right now as part of the Emergency Operations Center.
How similar was this Hurricane Irene event to past emergency operations for you? I mean, how bad is the damage?
Well, you know, the damage obviously is not as bad as we've seen in other disasters, except for those areas that I identified it previously, you know, in upstate New York and New England. So we're very concerned about those areas and working with local officials. This didn't impact the entire coast like it could have, the eastern seaboard. But certainly, you know, we were prepared to respond as needed if it had. But we're certainly focusing on those areas, again, in upstate New York and New England.
Now, more than 3 million Americans still don't have access to electricity because of the storms. How much of a challenge is that for your stores?
Well, again, that's why it's important for us to try and get stores open as soon as possible. We had about 600 stores that were potentially impacted, 300 that closed, and now we only have 10 that are not open. So that tells us that, you know, we are responding to those communities, and those stores, the 10 that are still closed, are coming opening on the hour. So we're hopeful that by the end of the day we'll have all those stores. If not, you know, the next couple of days have all of those stores opened.
All right. Mark Cooper, thank you so much joining us there by phone from Bentonville, Arkansas, from Walmart's Emergency Operations Center.